Greetings, friends, and welcome to That Gameplays Live. Boy, do we have a lot to talk about today. Probably won't get to it all. Too many gaming stories out there in the world, but I do have a panel to discuss that with. And of course, I have all of you out there I'm very excited about. But the team has been working on new videos, and I've been working on some other things in the background that hopefully will be even more entertaining. But I've jabbered along just far too much. I want to bring in the amazing panel we have here from the backstage. You've got Nolan Thunder, Stone Cold Loki, and the man himself, the movie monster, Marvin the Movie Monster, I guess. Hi.
Howdy, culture. I'm tired.
I bet you are. You've been writing away. Plus, this might be your third show today. I don't know.
My third show of the day, and not my last show of the day.
No, I have this. I have the same thing too. In fact, after this, I'm headed over to Mr. H's HCast. So we got stuff to get through, but we have to say hi to some folks that are in the chat. We got to say thank you for some super chats, and we need to get going. So we got Joseph Froscos out there. He was number one. That's right. We've got John JID 999. What's up? Says, I'm interested in a modern Bonnie and Clyde GTA 6. So am I.
Well, let's see if we get that. I would be very interested in that as well. It's just a matter of whether we're going to get that or whether we're going to get a lecture in an identity politics. Which
you mean Clyde and Clydette? And Clydette?
Yeah. I still haven't been able to break that story because I still haven't been able to get somebody to give me that clip. But the minute I have it, dude, I'm going to be running full speed. I think I already made a thumbnail for it. Very exciting. But I just want to say thank you for that. We've got some other folks rolling in the door. We get started with the hellos with Davina Duckworth. And we've got... Hey, there's Butter Biscuit 92. Good to see you, Butter Biscuit. And look at all these people out there. Look at them. We got a Ruby Who for $2 in a super sticker. Gotta love that little hey you, no hey you, and so many more. You guys really do support the channel, but I am writing very poorly today. That's a problem. But we need to say hi to the folks like the amazing Juliet out there from across the pond. We got Punk Waddle out there, a little bit of his support here. Let's see. Oh, I missed one. There we go. Ninja Pat 15 says it will be the lecture with GTA 6. Yeah, I'm afraid so. And
GTA is literally going to become that lecture you get from your mother when you buy the game.
That's true. Jeremiah, I'm going to tell you right now, while Mr. H's stream is happening, I will put the link up. So you will get the link for tonight's movie. I promise, my friend. We got Josh Hammond out there and so many more. So we just need to get started. Let's get the party started with our first story. Gentlemen, there's been news coming out of Ubisoft. Lots and lots of news. News that will make some people, a little bit worried. Some people will warm their hands by the trash fire. But this one has been a wavering bit of news. So let's start first with Marvin's story from yesterday. Apparently, Ubisoft buyout is stalling as Guillemot family fights to maintain control. Now,
so the Guillemot family essentially drove this company, and the country of France in general, probably into the ground. And so there needs someone to bail them out because of all their horrible decisions, but they want to maintain power to continue to make said horrible decisions.
Yeah, they really are trying to keep China's Tencent away from the decision-making process, we should say. There. That's the right word. Let me get it out today.
They want their money. They just don't want their input.
Yeah.
Do you know how you do that? You make good games that sell a lot so you don't have to have investors like that. That's how you do that.
Yeah,
don't make trash for us to warm our hands on.
That's true. And look, according to the story written by this orange guy somewhere, a potential buyout of French game developer Ubisoft, the studio behind Assassin's Creed, has stalled as the Guillemot family fights to maintain control over the company. Ubisoft has been in a bad way of late. The financial woes and a series of failed games dogging the once powerful studio. The Guillemot family, who started Ubisoft in 1986, have led their company down a path of ruin. Yes. Now, they face an unenviable situation. The company needs to buy up stock and privatize it if it has any hope of staving off a hostile takeover or that minority rule in France, I would say.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, this is one of those weird situations, and mind you, we've got plenty of weird stories today where people are trying to control their thing or sell their thing, but still control it. This is like the situation the Geekmonks want to find themselves in, and I don't think they can. So Tencent is interested. They already own about 10% of the company. However, negotiations have reportedly hit a snag with the Geekmonks fighting to maintain that control. One could instantly see a problem with such a move because, well, they let it right into the ground. That's the reason that they're having problems is because they were trying to avoid a Me Too or Time's Up situation in their company because of a bunch of accusations. Accusations about the brothers, in fact,
Mhm.
that they kind of adopted all the woke baloney sausage. So, yeah, we ended up with what we've got now. Reuters said that Tencent wants more say in the boardroom decisions. There we go. The Geekmonks have reportedly not accepted the terms, so that means it's probably going to fall through. Tencent's happy with the 10% stake in the company, believing it to be acceptable for gaming business cooperation, meaning without more influence, they don't want to give any more money. It makes a lot of
Game
sense.
Gaming business cooperation was the term that I kept coming across while researching this story. That's
Mhm.
kind of, I guess, the big talking point is like that's what they're seeking with all of their investments within the
Yeah.
gaming industry, and there are many.
Yeah, it's very strange. But when you look at the fact that if Tencent walks away, Ubisoft will be vulnerable to minority investors banding together to wrestle control of the company away from them. Now, mind you, they control a significant portion of voting stock, and I don't know if you got into this, but the brothers in a separately whole owned corporation that they formed um, owns the controlling votes here. They own about 20% of controlling votes, or just a little more. Is that correct, there, Marvin?
I believe that's accurate from what I saw.
All right. So when you look at that, you can see that they could literally be outpaced by outside investors very quickly. So Superdata found that Joost van Drunen believes Ubisoft will go private and start selling itself off piece by piece. Now that I have now heard multiple times, and I believe that's true. I think it will have to sell off big chunks of itself, probably starting first with things like underutilized IP, maybe like Splinter Cell. I know that's hopeful for
Mhm.
me, but stuff like that. What do you guys think? Do you think that's viable for them? Fire away.
I think that's absolutely what's going to happen. I think they have to just start selling off their assets. Like Gary Coleman later in life selling off his possessions in order to make ends meet. The decisions that Ubisoft has made has just destroyed their reputation in the gaming world, and now this might be the best thing for gamers if they just start selling off their assets because maybe if you get another studio getting their hands on some of these IPs, we'll be able to breathe a bit new life into it, like Splinter Cell, like what you were just saying.
Yeah.
I, however, think that Assassin's Creed would be the very last thing that they would let go of.
Well, sure. And Loki, what do you think? What do you think they could afford to let go to
They,
somebody else who can handle it?
they've got, like you said, Splinter Cell. They've got also got the entire Tom Clancy library. You've got Hawks. You've got Rainbow Six. There's a huge amount of games there that they have control of, and that aren't Assassin's Creed. So it's very possible that they do this because they don't want this deal. I think no matter what, you are looking at the end of Ubisoft as we all know it, period. Whether Tencent gets partial control of the board, whether they have to sell off piece by piece, this is it. And it's all come down to bad choices, bad decision making, and bad games. And that this is what should happen. You're going to see, I'm sure you're going to see Sony, Microsoft, all the big ponies, EA, all want a piece. They'll be like sharks in the water feeding on chum. They're all going to want a piece. They're all going to try and get something from this. And Ubisoft, I think Ubisoft is dead. Anything that happens after this, maybe they get picked up by something like Microsoft, like Sony, but I think this is it. I think this is the end.
Yeah, I think they're in big trouble. Nolan, is there anything you think you'd like to see out there?
Well, I think there's a very realistic chance that a company like Sega or something will go after Rayman. That brand still has a lot of power, you know, with the rabbits and stuff. Even if the most recent Mario plus Rabbids game kind of underperformed, I think there's definitely some brand recognition still around there that they can capitalize, especially with, you know, Sega pushing Sonic as hard as they have right now. They got a back catalog that hasn't been very relevant in quite a few years. If they could go after something that could have been seen as a little more modern to associate with the Sega brand, that could be a big change for them. Nintendo's one I think that we'll hear some rumors about with some of Ubisoft's IP, but maybe this is just me being pessimistic. I just can't help but feel like Microsoft's just going to jump in, grab a bunch of these brands and just sit with the IPs and do nothing with them. That's my prediction.
That's true. I think you're right. I think you're on the right track. I think we all kind of are, but Ubisoft is headed for privatization, according to Joost van Drunen, and dismantling in 2025. I don't see any way that it can't. The share plummeted from 28.19 to 12.30 year over year. The company's become attractive for a takeover target. The valuable assets, and they're saying Rainbow Six Siege and Assassin's Creed could be worth more separately than together. I agree. That's what I think they're going to have to lean into. And you're looking at Assassin's Creed Shadows facing off against Ghost of Yotai. And recent failures suggest deeper organizational issues beyond individual game performance. Well, I'm not sure this was the right example to use with Ghost of Yotai. But I since it's really Ghost of Yotai. But anyway,
I think
I
of culture, I think it's perfect because even though we've heard some stuff about Ghost of Yotai,
yeah,
it still hasn't disappointed anyone it's not in their hands yet. So you've got a wonderful game, Ghost of Tsushima, that came out. Everyone that played it loved it, had an absolutely wonderful time. Sucker Punch has not had this disappointing streak of flops. Ubisoft has. So if they want to go up head to head against Ghost of Yotai, by all means, let them. Whether Ghost of Yotai is going to be a disappointment or not, I don't think that matters because people are going to try it. They're going to play it. Ubisoft's problem right now is no one wants to play their stuff. From Star Wars to Assassin's Creed, people are saying no. They're turning their backs. They're saying not again. I'm not going to go through this again. I'm not going to play this again. I got tired of it last time. And they're walking away. We haven't seen that with Sucker Punch yet.
I think it's coming. But yeah, I think overall you're right. Look, this game is going to be disappointing to whoever at this point. Again, their development approach remains stubbornly outdated in an era of demanding player engagement and community building. They're anti-community, to be fair, without fundamental shift in how they develop and maintain games. They risk further alienating both investors and players. And look, they use Exig Defiant here, or he does, as one of the examples of how it just failed to launch. That's a game you have to invest in for a long period of time to build up an audience, right? And you can see a pretty successful. What's the Marvel game, Marvin, that they just delivered? The
Rivals.
Thing?
Yeah, I'm super. I actually while we were talking about it on the Pro Show, I downloaded it or I got it on PlayStation Store and put it on my PlayStation because I really want to play that at some point. Probably not today, but tomorrow. That should be our first that gameplay stream. Where we
think so?
We should all. Yeah, I mean, it's a free game. It's Marvel. Like, it's co-op. Why not?
It looks good. You've got some really nice character models in that game too. I'm not sure about the blocky dudes, but man, Storm looks great. Black Widow looks great. So many of those models look great.
It's kicking butt good. Too.
Yeah.
It's kicking butt right now. Concurrent players on Steam, I think, hit a high of 480,990 players 2 days ago. And right now there's 344,000 people in there. So this game is kicking butt and taking names.
Yeah, and even Spencer said it's absolutely amazing. It truly is. Hey, get in here. All right, we got Read by Nature in the house. But we have another super chat. Just real quickly, the leaderboard has not been updated. This is the leaderboard from the last week, and who was? Oh, that's not it. Thank you, Mr. Griffiths. What did I do? I hit the wrong one. There it is. As I Read by Nature covers, I am a terrible leader today. What is happening right now? Let's get Reed out of the way here. There we go. All right. So T. Neal is leading the charge this month so far with the Platinum Trophy. We have not calculated anything from Dave with gold, silver, or bronze, but we got our third super chat, which will make it so that we can do that. From Jacob Foxfires for $5 worth of quarters. We're saying quarters, right? Quarters?
Tokens?
Tokens? You want to do tokens? Okay. All right. Because I get hassled about how I say tokens. Anyway.
Because you say tokens.
Okay. Calm down now. You say Spider-Man for some reason instead of Spider-Man.
I do. Joel Spiderman.
That's right. Anyway. But yeah, Jacob Foxfires for 5. Break it all off and sell it for parts. Yes. Let Nintendo get Rayman. Good idea from Nolan and Rabbids. Yes, for a bargain offer that would all take care about it. Yeah.
By the way,
I think we'll do well.
I could also use 5 Tolkiens right now because it would help us get Lord of the Rings back on track.
Oh, boy, let me tell you.
Did anybody see
an army?
Did anybody see the Rohirrim movie?
No, I'm not going to.
And you know what? I can confidently say that because did you see the box office?
Oh,
nobody saw it. Yeah, I wish we
even
were
the mainstream media doesn't like it,
and nobody liked it. Jay is back with $2 worth of tokens, saying just put all IPs up for auction and get this over. I agree. But we'll keep track of today's tote board. I will update it as we go. I feel like we're missing somebody. Why do I feel like we're missing somebody?
We're missing 2 somebodies.
I know. What is going on right now?
Did we lose our friends?
I feel like it, maybe. I don't know. I do know this, and this, man, this, I'm going to save this story because it was supposed to be with, one of the guys that because he wrote it. I got to save it. It's just crazy. That's you, Spencer. Anyway.
He's lurking around in the chat, buzzing about.
I know. It's about Rocksteady, but we'll get back to it. Let's jump on this one. This one is going to be spicy. And thank you again, Jay, for your super duper chat. Let's see. All right. Okay. Disney is apparently just absolutely embedded with the idea of being somewhat ethnic exclusive. They're inclusive to almost everybody, but not some. Yeah, mostly people who are a bit more pale. And so they're forcing Quantic Dream. Well, let's just look at the article. They're forcing Quantic Dream to erase white characters from upcoming Star Wars Eclipse video game. Pressure is on from alleged, Sweet Baby Inc. puppet masters. This is like all of like the evil assembled in one location. Wow.
Well, yeah, it all comes down to GLAAD. GLAAD is it's been Endymion revealed that GLAAD his sources have revealed that GLAAD is the one kind of pulling the strings on Sweet Baby Inc. And a lot of these narrative design companies, they are giving the marching orders, and the studios are all saying how high as far as narrative goes.
So they're the Legion of Doom then.
Kind of. Yeah. Well, so insiders close to the development of the game have come forward to blow the whistle on Disney and Lucasfilm's alarming mandate that all white playable characters be eliminated from the upcoming title.
Bravo. That takes some gongos right there to do that.
Yeah, I feel this is like rinse and repeat mode for these ideologues, but anyway. The scoop comes from creator Endymion, who spoke with a number of sources close to Quantic Dream and Disney Lucasfilm for more than 2 hours. According to these sources, the game could be in development for another 5 years.
Yes.
Good luck.
Yep.
Oh man, I
Wow.
love this. Every game a decade culture. Every game a decade.
We'll never get games anymore. We never will. Look at
We don't have games now. Look at the Xbox. Look at the PS5. We don't have new games now.
Yeah, these people have no
won't even
interest
be
in
around
making
at that point.
That's actually true, Nolan. So yeah, so despite a strong story and narrative elements that Endymion claims are worth getting excited over, Disney inserted DEI mandates into the game's production, mandating that there will be ample inclusion of pride values and no white playable characters.
What is pride values? Is that like a loot box?
I don't know. Maybe it's a new.
So it's a
currency?
lot of basically they're really embracing genderless stuff. They're really kind of embracing non-binary representation in this game. They want a lot of male aliens dressed in female clothing. That's everything that I've been hearing about this one. There was even a white character. I'm sorry, it's in this quote. It's coming up 2 white playable characters that were in the game. One of them is changed, and the other one was only ever going to be white for like a second.
Wow. So, from what I was told, there was originally 2 white playable characters in the game, but this also now changed as well. I wasn't told names of the characters or anything, but there's this one white woman in the trailer. This character is no longer a white woman anymore. She was one of the playable characters, but Disney apparently forced Quantic to make her a black woman, citing that they were completely against white representation within the game. Okay, I'm going to say a word that I try not to say on public channels. This is racist, like the definition of it.
Yeah. 100%.
Wow. So anyway,
and the only other white character is a man who ends up getting gravely injured and becomes a cyborg or some kind of a robot.
Can I just ask?
Yeah.
We've seen all of these new games, all this new games at Dragon Age, Veilguard, all these new games come out. The Justice League, the Squad, all this stuff come out with all of this diversity and inclusion and special flags and special stuff, and the games don't work right. I mean, we just had that from Ubisoft and Star Wars. The Justice League game was a mess when it came out. What are they doing? I mean, if the game doesn't work right, and Quantum Dream especially, which is why I brought this up, when you came out with the robot game where you get to play as the robots, whatever that last game was that they did, it didn't work right on PC.
Detroit Become Human.
Detroit Become Human. Thank you. It didn't work right on PC, and it had a lot of the same problems that the PlayStation version had. So why aren't you fixing your games, or at least having them to where they don't completely glitch out or bug out when they first come out, instead of doing all this?
From what I understand in this one, look, Quantic Dream wants to make a good game here. The problem is that Disney and Lucasfilm have got this basically this board or this advocacy group within Lucasfilm that they have to approve literally everything that happens with the Star Wars IP, and they're the ones that are like, no white people, you have to make it more, you have to make it more transmission, you have to do all of that stuff in order to pass our smell test that will let us put out this game, because if they don't like what you're doing with the IP, they shut you down. So I think that a lot of Endymion sources, from based on what it sounded like, a lot of them are coming from Quantic because they're like, this company is out of its mind.
Well, they've got to worry about the quality of their games, their storytelling, before they start worrying about all this other crap. Give us a good game that actually works. Because
I agree.
If all we've heard is this stuff, and then the game comes out and you can't even play it because of this, that, or the other, or you fall through the level, or some really junior high level programming. I'm sorry, but that's it. People are just not, they're never going to trust you again, and they're never going to buy your stuff again. They're going to be so sick of it all that they're like, no. Star Wars, the brand, doesn't matter anymore. Gamers want something good that's going to be fun, that's going to be enjoyable. Doesn't matter what your brand is anymore. They just want something fun, enjoyable, that's not going to preach at you and treat you like you're in kindergarten again.
To keep this connected to the games here and stuff, I gotta say, seeing it in all caps, that big Glad, name they have there, I just can't help but think of GLaDOS and Portal, the villain of the game, and that's kind of ominous looking at it.
Yeah, Glad's been around for a long, long time, and according to what Endymion says here, he was told it has insane amount of power when it comes to what they want to see in media. So much so that they can't even stand shoulder to shoulder with places like Disney when it comes to injecting DEI content going forward. As I said in my previous video, Rockstar is riddled with DEI, which we actually know is true. We've been talking about it behind the scenes for months now. And this is from the same source. They told me that Rockstar is very heavily invested and influenced by the power of Glad. That's not great.
No.
Right? So Endymion notes that there's the board within there. We know that's the stories group, and the stories group's driven by the women that are in there. So the goal of Eclipse, according to my sources, was a broader initiative by Disney as a whole. They want to redefine what Star Wars is to the audience at large, which means Star Wars will never be popular again.
Well, it won't be Star Wars.
Right. Yeah. There are multiple projects that are part of this initiative, of course, being Acolyte, amongst other things. Anything from the Let's Get High Republic area, which failed completely and spectacularly. Eclipse is also part of this agenda going forward. So I can't imagine this will be successful in any way. Because it's going to reek of everything else, even if it isn't clearly as racist as they're making it out to be in the story, or you are, Marvin, or whoever sources are. So when I look at this, I don't think this is in a good place, and I don't expect it will do very well. So on that note,
we'll find out in 5 years.
You really think it's going to take that long?
I wouldn't be shocked. Especially if they had to go through and, rework an entire character that had already appeared in a trailer, which means they were probably already, creating in-game assets with that character. They got to go in and change them now, or change her now.
Yeah, that's actually true.
That's just like a corporation go, oh, you're almost done with your project? Well, guess what? You're going to start over from scratch because we've changed direction and we're going to go and do this now. So all that work you just spent the last 3 months doing, it was for nothing. Just start over, new project. There you go.
And I like Detroit Become Human. I think there's something to be said about what Quantic Dream does, where the games are, I kind of liken them to like choose your own adventure movies more than video games with quick time events. But they, I mean, I would typically enjoy seeing a Star Wars game like that. But now when I spoke to Endymion, one-on-one, we were obviously we have no word on this, but we're talking about that, that Lucasfilm Stories board, and I said, I wonder if that's what happened with the Knights of the Old Republic, remake, because that was going forward, and then all of a sudden we were told, nope, not happening anymore. I wonder if they were like, Revan has to be canonically a black female, and they were like, absolutely not. So something to think about.
Yeah. Nolan, any final thoughts on this or no?
Well, the way I see it with Star Wars games is, it's attached to a dead brand. They used to be there to help pump sales into it kept the brand, evergreen, constantly going forward. Now it's just connected to a corpse. So kind of like a parasite. If it has no host, it dies itself.
Yeah, and finally, since he rolled in here, our good buddy Spencer, any thoughts on this
Quantic
Dream disaster, sir?
I mean, since I'm coming in late, I'll just drop the bullet points. Quantic Dream, don't care about them. They don't really make good games. David Cage can't write for beans. Who cares about Star Wars anymore? And I don't really trust Endymion sources at all. So that's where I'm at.
Okay.
You know what? With the who cares about Star Wars thing, I think we're all getting to that point. I think we're at the point where people are like, I can't believe a Star Wars game, show, whatever, movie tanked. I'm like, I'm going to be more surprised at this point when something Star Wars succeeds. Star Wars is not a symbol of excellence and popularity anymore. It is completely, I think at this point, I think it's a dead brand. It's been destroyed. There is no name value in Star Wars anymore.
And that's why, like, so many people want to keep talking about it. I mean, we're talking about the game here, but for me personally, it's so hard to give a rat's butt about Lucasfilm, about Star Wars. It's been dead. We've seen it been dead. Nothing they've done in the last, ever since, we said, oh, you guys could reverse course after Last Jedi, after Rise of Skywalker, and they never did. So I just gave up, and I don't know why we keep going back to this well.
I think because a lot of people really, Star Wars means a lot to them. It's, Luke Skywalker, Han Solo, and Princess Leia are family to a lot of people.
I don't think that holds true anymore, though, Marvin. I think you're right. I
think people are holding on to. Hold on, I think people are holding on to those memories, and they're not willing to let them go. I think that's the problem. I think that's where people's hope comes from. Whether or not that hope is misguided or not, I think that's where it comes from.
But here's my question: is that, like, I don't see any hope coming from people for, like, games like this or any new project from anybody who kind of loved those old trilogies. All the hype you see now are from, like, the pixie dusters. Yeah. So I think on a whole, I think everybody really has given up. I mean, again, we can look at the ratings for The Acolyte, which, again, it failed even by normal TV standards. It means not even fans showed up, not even casuals showed up. Like, people used to look at Star Wars and go, oh, look, an event, something that we're all going to talk about, something that would at least be entertaining. And now people see Star Wars and go, yep, there we go.
Well, if you have the ratings for Skeleton Crew, which I'm currently working on an article about for TPP, are anything you're not wrong. But I think it comes down to, it's almost like a situation where it's like you have a family member or a friend who you love very, very dearly and you have many good memories with, and they just keep messing up their lives. Maybe you don't even believe in them anymore, but there's still a small part of you in the back of your mind that's like, gosh, I hope someday they turn it around. I think that's kind of where a lot of people are at.
Godspeed to all of you who are there, though, because that's not me.
Yeah, I have a feeling.
I haven't been there either, Spencer. Ever since, like, Book of Boba Fett, I've been out. I stopped watching it. I stopped covering it. I stopped talking about it. I don't want anything to do with it.
Right?
Disney is dead to me. And that includes everything Disney owns. Marvel, Star Wars, all of it. I don't want anything to do with it anymore.
I gave up on Star Wars games after Star Wars Battlefront, the EA version. Like, they ruined one of the best Star Wars games ever made, one of the most beloved games of my childhood, and made it into microtransaction the game. Like, that's a fate worse than death.
We should have known something was wrong, Nolan. Or, like, I'm sure you did, like me and like everybody here probably, when when Disney was like, we've signed an exclusive deal to give EA the Star Wars license. It's like, oh boy.
Yeah.
Oh boy, of all people.
The fact that they got rid of LucasArts, I mean, that was just such a blow, because LucasArts actually
that's because kids weren't playing games until earlier this year, Marvin. You didn't know.
Oh, right. That just started, if you ask Bob Iger.
And this also means that Lucasfilm, LucasArts, their last game, their swan song was literally Han Solo in Star Wars Connect dancing to that one song parody. That was the end of the great LucasArts.
Han Solo. That song's so bad, it's always stuck in my head.
All right. Well, speaking of stuck in my head, we got some super duper chats we need to get to, gentlemen. So let's jump on that. I feel like we wrapped up that story in a way that I don't think any of us feel better about. Yeah. So Jay drops in with 5 more cash, saying there's more to it. Kirsch on Side Scrollers yesterday explaining bridge to Craig and Blaps. DEI is digging in deep like a tick, not broke yet. No, of course, that bridge thing came from Microsoft. I mean, that's fully integrated into anything that's coming out of Microsoft, including their game studio. So Bridge will be the thing that takes down all Microsoft gaming and possibly the company. You have to also include something called Dibs. You guys know what Dibs is? Diversity,
diversity, inclusion, and belonging. It is the
Belonging.
new DEI catchphrase that's been
I
out.
thought
It's been
I thought it
around
was when
for-
you. I thought it was when you lay claim on something. Dibs.
It is them laying claim on something.
Yeah.
That's why it's called dibs.
Yeah, it's look, and this is a way to just get more socialism in your socialism, or I guess in this case more Marxism in your socialism. But yeah, so not a great situation there.
When you read or if you get told, oh, all the DEI stuff's closing, it's all going away. No, it's all turning into dibs now.
Rebranded
Because belonging is the new thing. They want you to believe that you're in a new community of belonging.
Yeah, you're not. They're figuring out more ways to eliminate your skin color, your gender, your stuff. They do not like reality at all. So yeah. So Taco Bueno.
Davina's pointing out the most cringe one, which is the Jedi. That's one they're trying to push too.
Yeah, that's not. Yeah, and they're trying to sell it as a religion, or they did for a while. I don't know. But
no, okay, you're conflating things, Culture. That's not the same thing. The Jedi religion has nothing to do with this Jedi DEI acronym.
Okay.
Wait, that's real? I thought they were just being like funny.
In which aspect, Marvin?
The Jedi thing.
Which Jedi thing?
The justice, equity, diversity,
inclusion. Oh no,
inclusion.
that's a real acronym they're using.
That's real?
Yeah, it's not widespread, but it's what people use it.
Oh,
but no, Culture. It has nothing to do with the fact that in the 90s, before all this happened, people were putting down a Jedi as a religion on their census form.
It surrounds us. It penetrates us. It binds the universe together.
I, for one, welcome our new alien overlords and hope that they come soon.
I tell you what, and you know, look, I don't know that there's anything good out there anymore. I don't. I do know this. There are still good games, and there are still good people. And Kirsch and Craig over at Side Scrollers really are good. Blabs is great. We've got a lot of good people talking some sense, like our friend T-Neil89 here for 20 in Tolkien's. That's right, $20 worth of tokens. There, I said it better. Step 1, buy big IP. Step 2, Cocaina Party, Colombian marching powder. Step 3, change what made IP successful and defecate on naysayers.
Yes.
Step 4, hire bad production crew. Yes. Step 5, am gonna be rich. Step 6, question mark. Step 7, Kurt Cobain Hollywood Hills impression. Oh boy. Oof. Talk about a very effective use of a super chat. Thank you, T. Neil. My goodness. We got our good friend.
That's a great way to use your 10th super chat.
I mean, nobody's gone to that step yet. Everybody is in keeping their job step 6.5. So
yeah, I think they're in question mark mode. I think what we just talked about, the first story, was question mark mode with Ubisoft. But no question marks about Daryl the Derelict for $2 worth of tokens. Glad. Good Lord, another dipstick. I kept it clean. Well, thank you.
Culture had to check himself there for a minute, made sure he was about to say a naughty word.
I know, I did read it. Yeah, I was, I would have cleaned it up with dullard, but that's just me.
Because Jonas is always watching.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, he's just not in the back. Yeah, he's always out there. And speaking of who is always out there, with the 10th super chat, T. Neil for another $5 worth of tokens. He says the real hangers on are the Star Wars Central Committee, who are holding on to power while they can. Petty little tyrants. Sounds like a good television show we should write. Petty little tyrants. The DEI Chronicles. Petty little tyrants.
Hey, how dare you gatekeep us out of your IP? We're going to gatekeep you once we get it, though, because, hey, we want to make it into this other thing that it's not.
You know how right now kind of the trendy thing to do with a lot of shows, they're sort of, either mockumentary or documentary is to show, what a lot of studios used to look like 20, 30 years ago. You got like the cigarettes in the exec's room, instead of trying to greenlit movies and all that. I wonder if we might see some documentaries 20 years from now on the whole, like, the drama going on in these, like, DEI departments, when certain people couldn't say certain things. That'll be fascinating to see in a few years.
I'm already fascinated to see. We're in a weird place right now. A very weird place.
The fact that it's global, this is a global thing. It's happening all over the world. Especially they're really putting the pressure on Japan to follow suit with whatever everybody else is doing. The fact that they trolled everybody with Dragon Age or Dragon Quest 3, that HD pixel remaster, I love that. You go in, it's like, oh, pick a body type 1, body type 2. And when you click on it, it goes, this is the hero. Are you sure you do not want to pick the heroine? Or this is the heroine.
Malicious compliance, and it was great.
I love it. I absolutely love it. That they are finding ways to go, no.
Yeah, I think people are a little upset, possibly, with being forced into things. I mean, it's just my thoughts. I could be wrong. But what I'm not wrong about is the amazing support from our incredible super duper chatters, the people with the super stickers, the people that just make it so that I can keep running a game stream, which I appreciate very, very much. So thank you for all that. I appreciate it like nobody's business. And we need to move on to our next topic, a topping that is not pepperoni, but it's one out of bounding into comics, actually. Our friend, it looks like Ryan wrote this one. You need to start writing some of these stories, brother. Come on.
Spencer, you do some work for a change.
Yeah.
Sorry, Culture. I'm just doing so much other stuff at the site. Sorry, I can't write everything.
Okay, well, I wanted you to write.
Lazy cretin.
Hey, look, Ryan did a good job with this one, writing Rocksteady to end support for the Squad.
And also, I'm the editor, so a lot of this is my writing anyway.
Oh, fair enough. Well, all I know is after
I get you, Spencer.
You know me, Chief.
I understand that.
Is anybody surprised at this?
I don't know how anybody could be anything. I didn't finish reading the title yet. Anyway. Anyway, just kidding. Okay, I'm kidding. After less than a year, confirmed season 4 and Deathstroke DLC is final content offerings. Okay, now I can certainly believe this happened. I don't know, Loki, what were you going to say?
I was just who didn't see this coming? I mean, if you didn't see this coming, I don't know what to tell you. But they had a year. They had a year of service paid up for their servers and all that when they launched live. And now they're like, yeah, we're going to shut it down. Why? Because they're not making any money. Not even
the servers are staying up. The servers are staying up. They're just stopping any support for it. Like they're not going to update it or make DLC anymore.
They're going to do an offline mode though, right?
Yeah, they're going to have both. Because right now you can't play that game offline.
Yeah.
Which is completely dumb.
But there are 1,100. There are 1,100 people playing it right now worldwide.
That's amazing.
That's a boost up from what we've seen. That's actually more players. That's a boost.
They're giving it away for free now.
No, I know. They're the $5 deal over Black Friday.
It was $3 on Steam.
Oh, was it $3?
Yeah, $3 on Steam.
$5 on Epic.
Woo!
$5 on Epic, $10, I believe, on the PlayStation Store and the Xbox Store.
It was wild, right? Just totally wild.
But yes, you can still play this game online. They are introducing a new offline mode. The dumb thing, Loki, I don't know if you saw it, but okay, I don't know why I singled out Loki. None of us here have played it. I don't know why I was highlighting as if he would know this gameplay mechanic, but because I looked up the info for the story, you can make you have to make a separate profile for online and offline play, and you can duplicate your online profile to make an offline one. But if you ever want to take your offline one online, you can't do that. That's just wrong. Can't do it. Nope. Even though everything is the exact same, you're not enabling cheats, you're not getting a boost of anything. It's just there's no other players around you. They don't have functionality to do it backwards.
Blizzard has something kind of similar for Diablo 2 Resurrected, the remaster they did. They've got something kind of similar. The offline mode, even though you still have to verify. So if you install it, and this goes the same for Switch, all your game systems, if you install it and you haven't played it and you're in offline mode, you can't play it. But if you've installed it, initiated it, linked your Blizzard account, yada, 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 they'll finally let you play it offline. But any character you play offline, you can't play online. And you can't take any online characters and play them offline, at least on Blizzard for Diablo 2, anyway.
This
So
is
it's
crazy.
kind of similar. You've got offline characters and you've got online characters. Never the two shall meet.
I thought this game was all about inclusion.
It is. It's just not including you to play anymore. Anyway, I have a feeling that this will be a big problem. Look, this was just another massive fail of a studio this year. I don't think Rocksteady is going to be around much longer. I don't know how they can prop it up. The founders are both gone, went off to start a new studio, and they went a long time ago, which is why this game turned into a trash fire that Loki gets to keep warm by. But it's barely over 10 months, according to Ryan, since the live service disaster hit shelves. And after launching the face first into the mud, thanks to the dev team making practically every wrong decision possible, Rocksteady has announced they will finally be bringing their ongoing support for the ill-fated The Squad Killed the Justice League to an end. But, hey, at least they're introducing a much-requested offline mode. That's it. That's basically the most important parts of this story. You can still play it. Whether you want to or not is also a question to be asked. But it also means you're not going to be engaged with anybody else on the platform. Not that you were doing that anyway.
Are. Culture. The game is still live online. You need to. The servers are still staying live. You can still play this game online with people.
So they're just ending they're just ending new stuff. Like they're not adding to it anymore.
Okay. So I'm making an assumption that's true. Okay. This game, and correct me if I'm wrong, Spencer and Marvin and Loki and anybody else who wants to, when you create an offline mode, you're removing you're eventually removing live service, right? That's the first step. You're not.
No, that is not true. You are simply providing players with the ability to play a game without being connected to the internet.
So how many years will this be up for, Spencer?
I don't know, Culture, but that's not you're going into the future and asking us to make predictions. What we're pushing back against is you're saying right now you can't play this game anymore live. That's not true. You can. Okay. And if you keep saying in the future it's hold on. If you keep saying in the future it's going to go down, let's predict when it's going to go down. Well, all of the games we play, no matter how good they are going to go down eventually. So like that's not really an argument. I may have
worded it poorly before, Spencer. But the point was that means this game will eventually be gone. The live
does not mean that.
Okay, I can't imagine the studio keeping this thing running for 1,000 people. I just can't. There will be a point in a not too distant future where the live service aspects and the play with each other aspects that require
the live service aspects are done, Culture. Correct. They are not providing any new content.
Okay.
They are not patching it. They are not making characters. They are not making maps. But the servers are staying live.
Finish my statement. So the live service aspect of this game is going away. We can agree on that.
No. Or yes, the live service, yes.
Okay. And the reasonable expectation is, because other games do it when they turn off the live service, is they look at it as a cost situation and eventually cut off that interactivity. They shut down the servers.
All games eventually shut down the servers. Yes, we can look at this and say this doesn't bode well, but I disagree with you saying this means it's dead. This means you can't play it anymore. They're shutting it down. Maybe this lasts for years. The Halo 3 servers just shut down earlier this year.
Okay.
Halo 3, a game from 2004. So servers can stay live for very minimal amounts of people without anybody monitoring them or whatever. It is, as long as it's there, it doesn't cost a lot of money to host a server for 1,000 people.
Okay. We'll see. I have a feeling
all games eventually come to an end. All online service games come to an end.
I think we'll revisit the end of this game very soon.
It's possible. It's certainly possible, especially if it continues the way it's been continuing, because interest in this game is just, it was never high to begin with, and it's at an all-time low. So, yeah, I think that, ending, future updates, that's definitely a good thing. We're not going to be seeing any more events in the game or anything like that. Thank goodness. And now the dozens and dozens of fans can continue to enjoy the Squad Kill the Justice League for as long as it takes for them to enjoy it before the plug eventually gets pulled. Whether that's 2 months from now or whether it's 20 years from now, I would imagine it's going to be somewhere between the two.
All right. So according to the story, however, while active content support for the game may be coming to an end, Rocksteady assures players that not only will all online features continue to be available, so you still be able to play and co-op with your friends, as well as all previous seasonal and episodic content, but also that they will have an option to play the game via new offline mode, which allows access to the main story campaign and all post-launch seasonal gameplay content without an internet connection. As to just when this mode will both require and entail an offline mode FAQ provided by Rocksteady shines a light on the devil in the details. According to the document, in order to play this mode, yada yada. So this is all the stuff that you guys talked about. I'm just going to say it this way. If Rocksteady as a studio just gets shut down, then you're asking who to maintain those
Warner
servers.
Brothers.
Warner Brothers games.
Yeah, WB Games, but I mean, I think Rocksteady shutting down as a studio, I think that is a very, very real possibility.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah. And look, there's no more DLC. Live service is something that gamers have been against for a very long time. But it says that the last bit is supposedly going to be releasing, and this is January 14th of 2025.
You know, when I first saw this, my immediate thought on hearing, oh, it's going to have an offline mode, was that it's going to be probably second quarter of 2025 before they just shut it down. If they come out with a DLC and anyone buys it, and they shut this down after March, if they release a DLC in January and then shut the game down 4 months later, like, oh, you can't even play it, you can't get on it unless you're in your offline mode, I will laugh my butt off if they do that, because I mean, anyone who's still playing and still dedicated to like, oh yay, I love this game, is going to be really, really, really ticked. They
Especially
do this with
what date? What month did you give that, Loki? March? Yeah, like by March, if somebody is still out there, like, I love this shit so I'm playing every day, I gotta grind, I'm gonna be like, get him to an asylum.
I know they do it with sports games. I know they a sports game's only up for a couple of years. I think they already delisted like WWE 23 and anything before that. You can't even buy it. So anything that's like connected online, that has that online connectivity, once that's gone and they just pull it. You don't even have the opportunity to buy it.
Yeah.
And a lot of times they are messed up. I ask anyone in here, go back and play WWE 22 on a PC and try and get that thing to work if you own it. It's almost impossible. It worked fine before. It's same computer. Now it doesn't want to work at all. Everybody goes super fast, and it's like watching a Three Stooges episode, except in the WWE universe.
Gotta go buy like
get any
that, like
kind
a
of
360
support
game.
for it. So,
like go buy a 360 to play it, right?
yeah. Pretty much you got to go buy a 360 or have it on Xbox to play it, and it's pulled off of those platforms too. So you can't even buy it.
We can't
anything that had that online connectivity. Oh, we're selling cards, we're selling this, we're doing this. They can just pull it whenever they want to and end it.
Yeah, and the servers for not that long ago's Madden 2020, right? Those servers came down on April 15th of 2024 this year. So it had a 4-year window with live service updates.
They had
and all
4
that.
other copies of that game come out,
which is a huge problem.
Player bases.
Let's just admit that that's a problem. We got to talk about that one day too. Regardless, I don't think there's
like if they were making a Suicide Squad 2 like next month, then I would say, yeah, the servers are going to come down way faster. But it's not the same case.
Okay. Well, hey, I think Warner Brothers loves to waste money, so you could be right. You could be right. After
It
writing,
is. It is the dumbest company to literally ever exist.
They wrote off a $200 million ouchie on this game. So
Absolutely insane.
not doing well. All right.
And honestly,
anyway,
they probably should have just taken the game offline. They should have just pulled a Concord with it, because my goodness,
man.
what the and this Deathstroke DLC, is it actual Deathstroke, or is it like gay Deathstroke, woman Deathstroke, Asian
girl.
Deathstroke?
I thought it was girl Deathstroke. It's a chick.
No, it's not
Is it?
Ravager. It's straight up Deathstroke.
it looked like
Which
it.
is what makes it even more bizarre, which is like, why would your game like crapped itself and you saved like the best for literally last? Like all the other DLC characters are embarrassing. Nobody wants to play Zoe Lawton. Screw that. Nobody cares about
You don't
her.
want to be.
She's
You don't
not
want
a
to be
character.
You don't want to be Mrs. Freeze, the character who's 3 enormous dogs away from being everyone's high school gym teacher.
Right. I would if
Wow.
she looked like, I don't know, she did in the comic books, or looked like she had a cool design and didn't look like she was just made to own the chuds. You know what I mean? Like they do that and then they go, by the way, here's your badass, super accurate, like armored Deathstroke. There's that screenshot at the top of the article, and I'm
a little too late.
Exactly, Marvin. I look at that screenshot and I'm like, that looks great. Who cares at this point? Who cares?
You gave us like a Shiva from Final Fantasy looking Mrs. Freeze. That's just like, I mean, like a queen, an ice queen, not ice queen, but an ice queen. Yes.
They could have made so much more money if they just made him look like Arnold Schwarzenegger. That would have worked.
Oh, I'd have bought that in a heartbeat. Are you kidding me? I would have bought 7 copies of the game.
I'm Mr. White Christmas.
What killed the dinosaurs?
The Ice Age. Yes, Spencer.
All right. On that note, let's get to a super chat or two as we have them roll in the door. I think I read this one from maybe not from Joseph Froscos for $2 saying, so Slade Wilson gave this game the death stroke.
He is the death stroke of the game.
Not even. He just came in to put it out of its misery. He's mercy killing at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, indeed. I think I didn't get this one either from T-Neil for 5. Saying, I don't know. There's something cathartic about watching karma collecting its due. That's satisfying. Well, yeah.
Ain't that the truth?
Yeah. Well, that's $7 more in tokens, guys. We're doing good today. And then, of course, our friend Kaliki Okedi for $2 worth of quarters or tokens, whichever you prefer. But hey, at least the squad killed the Justice League lasted longer than Concord. It's true. It's very true.
Actually, Concord's still going. Secret Level dropped yesterday. Oh, I guess it is still longer. I just wanted to reference Secret Level. It dropped. It's
I've had colds that have lasted longer than Concord.
Yeah, that's true. It's actually true. It's actually true. That's funny. Thank you, Kaliki Okedi. I appreciate it. We have a new banner drops. That's right. A new banner drops. We've got a new leader in the clubhouse from our friends that have been contributing to this amazing stream.
What?
And,
a dethroning.
Yeah, well, we've got T. Neal in first place for the month, first place for the day, and Jay in a secondary role as silver supporter. Hey! That's right. And finally, we've got our bronze level supporter, our pal, Jacob Foxfire's out there in third place. So for those of you supporting the channel today,
Foxfire.
That's right. Thank you very much. And wow, we're going to get finally to the headline story of the day. I know Spencer's looking forward to this one. I know that Marvin's looking forward to this one, and I know that Loki's looking forward to this one. I have no idea if Thundar the Nolarian is going to care at all.
I never know what that guy's thinking.
Story 2 culture.
Hey, what's happening now?
I'm excited. I've been in the back for like 10 minutes or so.
Yeah, you can control yourself though. You can come in and out as you please.
It's your channel. I didn't want to interrupt.
Oh, I need to yell at you. I'm not going to though.
Escalate quickly.
These guys.
I told you guys he's always watching.
You guys
It's
are being
true.
white.
I was scarfing down some lunch. You know, I use that phrase because they used it in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2, The Secret of the Ooze. And now
Yeah,
it's
they
just
True
stuck in my brain
cinema.
ever since.
So wait a minute. So that's like your moment of hello, fellow kids.
Hello. What
Maybe.
is that? What the kids are watching these days?
I was gonna say,
Teenage
what
Mutant
kid
Ninja
like?
Turtles 2, The Secret of the
Hello,
Ooze,
fellow 30-year-olds. Like,
starring
Made
Vanilla
another
Ice.
funny.
All right.
I won't tell you
Let's-
what grade I was in when the teacher had to institute a ban on singing ninja rap in the classroom.
Oh no way.
that's incredible.
You cannot outlaw ninja rap. Come on now. All right.
But they're not stupid. They're infants. Bang. Okay, they're stupid infants.
The babies. Babies.
Oh God! bless
And I
David
just read the private chat, which makes me even sadder because I was busy working trying to do 6 things at once because my super chat reader was having lunch. Anyway,
I'm sorry. These
the
golden
guy
pipes need wavy legs.
Polishing.
Okay. Wow. None of those things were good. Rethink all the statements just made now. Anyway, we're going to get into this. This is the headline story, the one you've been waiting for, everybody. We're going to talk about GTA 6.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Everybody excited for GTA 6?
No.
No. I'm one of those guys who when I don't approve of the content of a game, I generally just don't play it. So
Could
Yeah,
they do
look.
a modern day Bonnie and Clyde and make it absolutely sing like an angel choir in heaven? Yes, they could. Will
That'd
they
be
do
good.
that? No, they will
No,
not.
they will not.
No, and that's the problem is now we're hearing from many quarters what's going on the inside of this game. Francisco wrote a story for that Park Place along with some other videos that were being done at the same time. Marvin's starting to get more information. I'm getting too much information. Let's get into it. I don't wanna, but we're gonna.
Mm-hmm.
Is GTA 6 woke? Well, the fact that within Rockstar and of course the larger studio, Take-Two, DEI employee certifications are happening. Is this new in studios? No. But does it seem to change the content of what you receive? Yes. It also seems to change the makeup of the staffing there. Now, people are going to take something out of context, and I'm going to say this before Spencer gets to it. They were celebrating whatever the National Women's, Defense League is, or, we work at places we didn't before, or whatever, National Women's Day.
Whatever one of the 9 billion that exists nowadays.
Yeah,
for
and
money.
International Women's Day. I don't know what it was, but they took a picture in front of the studio with all the ladies. Okay, and people that identified as ladies, apparently. But anyway.
Yeah. Yeah, and we point that out in the article that it was for National Women's Day or whatever.
Okay, but I want to say that up front because some people are going to say it's all chicks working there. No, no. But anyway, we'll get to it. So yes, go ahead.
To that picture, isn't that the one, Marvin, that you wrote about that has a certain special guest in it, or is that another company's group photo? A certain sweet CEO.
Oh yeah.
I don't think I wrote about that.
Oh, I thought you wrote about it. There's dang it, some company recently did like a company group photo, and I think it actually was like all the women in the office photo.
Right.
And in the very back behind like a pillar, you can see Campbell, and she's hanging out there. I thought it was Rockstar. I thought it was Marvin. I just presume if I read good news, it comes from Marvin.
I just assume she's like Bloody Mary or Candyman. You say her name in front of you say her name in front of an HR department 3 times and she appears.
You just say Bowser is in a vulnerable state and she appears.
Yes.
Regardless, look, there are some things that both Loki and I have been told about this character that's on the screen right now. That as soon as I have like actual proof, I'm going to blow.
I don't think that's going to be real.
Okay.
I don't know what you're talking about, but I feel like I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
We can all-
Clyde.
So,
I will. There is a large speculation out there that I have heard on my end. So this isn't on culture. This is on mine. That this character is going to be transgender, and I don't buy it for a second.
I heard the same thing, and that it's going to be you won't know until the very end of the game. This is a we gotcha moment. If it's true,
You played the whole
that
game. We got you
played the whole
now.
game. At the end of the game, you see a picture of them when they were kids, and it's two boys standing there, like getting their picture together, and because they're lifelong friends. So
Well,
that's
if
what I
that is
heard.
the case, if that is the case, then I know for the people who just disagree with transgenderism on its base, they're not going to like that. But I think for anybody else, I think that's sort of what we want from our stories. That if you're going to make a representation character like that, it sounds like it's not going to reflect on the story. It just sounds like it's a last minute, like, guess what? And then it doesn't add anything. No, but it also doesn't necessarily subtract from what we might get. Now, of course, I'm just talking about the character. I don't know the writing. We're going to get into that, but that's just talking on the character basis.
Right. So they're pulling a crying game on this then, if that is the case.
That's
so
what I heard.
What that's going to do, if it were to try to theoretically, in this case, if I can use a technical term, own the chuds, you would take a character here that is maybe considered the avatar of the player, which is kind of what they did with I didn't play the last Grand Theft Auto, but as I understand it, Trevor was the psychopath, and he was supposed to represent the more unhinged side of the players. Like that, you had several players here that might represent characters that represented the players in different ways. So this would be the ultimate own. Honestly, if you have a character that you're playing for an extended period of time, that you're trying to quote unquote be that character, but for that character to turn out to be a member of the rainbow community when you didn't intend to play them that way, that's
I'll slightly push back against that, Jonas, because this isn't necessarily like your character. It's not like you're creating a character and then you're playing your narrative, and then all of a sudden at the end it goes, by the way, this character you thought you've been trans all along. Gotcha. This is somebody else's character that like is already established. Let me rephrase that. When you're playing somebody
side character, this isn't a player character.
No. Let me rephrase that.
No, this is the player character.
In Grand Theft Auto, your player characters are characters. Yes, you control them, but they're not necessarily supposed to be you. They are your avatar in the game. But for example, when Trevor is a psychopath, he's not supposed to represent psychopathic players. He's not supposed to go there as, oh yeah, pick me if you're one of these players who likes playing psychopathically. That's just the way he's written. You can do anything with any character you want. Certain side missions are locked because of your like relationships with people, depend on characters. But aside from that, you can all hijack cars, you can all shoot things up, you can all do everything. So it's a bit different than I don't necessarily see this as, going, haha, you are trans now. It's more like just this character is.
Well, one of the things that I have heard that I will say one of my a contact that I have just reached out to me because they're watching the stream is they're saying that apparently at the end of this you find out that this character has a daughter. So, this might not be the case.
Interesting.
I
this is one where I don't care about GTA. It's one that I checked out on a long time ago because I'll be honest, GTA San Andreas, I got far enough into the gang missions on that one, and then they had, for some story reason, they got rid of all of the territory that I had claimed. So I was deeply offended by that. And then I remembered that none of the game mechanics were very good. They just kept stacking mediocre versions of gameplay elements on top of each other, and they were a giant mini game factory.
Mm-hmm.
And I've washed my hands of it ever since.
My heart is breaking. I've never disagreed with anything on Jonas before, like
That's
this
okay.
strongly. Oh my god, I have to go like reevaluate myself.
That's all right.
By the way, the person who just shared that little nugget of information with me, that was Francesco Salbach, the author of this piece.
He's here. By the way, good writer, that guy.
Oh, great writer.
And you can have a kid and still,
Yes, that's true. It didn't actually specify that the kid, came from her. So, we'll see.
Are we ready?
We're ready.
Sorry, culture.
No, it's great. I'm not going to interrupt a wonderful conversation from smart people. That would be silly. But GTA 5 originally was released in 2013. It's been through 3 console generations and sold like hot cocoa. on a winter day at North Pole. I like that. That's a very nice writing. It's no surprise then that everyone and their mother is eagerly awaiting GTA 6. I think my mom would be upset about the game. Anyway, the wait has been long, 12 years and counting, and we still don't have the game in our hands. However, 2023 Rockstar released the first GTA 6 trailer, and it was going nothing short of stunning. Yet, as quickly as the excitement for the trailer spread, concerns began to surface. The question was, is it woke? One of the most notable shifts in GTA 6 introduces a female protagonist. While every previous entry featured male protagonists, GTA 6 will include both male and female lead. The dual protagonist setup, however, is not fully alleviated the skepticism that some fans feel about the game. To be clear, criticizing the game solely because it includes a female protagonist isn't a valid argument, which I agree with that.
Rockstar GTA 1 and 2 could let you play as a female protagonist.
Yes, they could. Yes,
I
absolutely.
Thought so. Yeah, I thought you had to in 2 of the missions, but I could be wrong.
Yep.
Anyway, Rockstar has a stellar track record of delivering exceptional stories and well-written characters. From Arthur Morgan in Red Dead Redemption 2, which I still love, despite it's got a little bit of stuff in there I didn't dig, to Trevor, Michael, and Franklin. Again, they were great. It was awesome to switch between the 3 characters, in my opinion. Rockstar has consistently excelled at crafting characters that resonate with players. If the only concern is the inclusion of a female lead, then it wouldn't warrant criticism. I agree. In fact, the idea of a female protagonist in GTA series isn't new. We talked about this a minute ago. Dan Houser, co-founder of Rockstar with his brother, was asked if the series would feature a female lead. His response was clear. If the story called for it, then absolutely. So it's been speculated that before his departure from Rockstar in 2020, Houser had completed or was close to completing treatment for GTA 6. Reportedly, the game was to draw inspiration from Bonnie and Clyde. Well, there you go. And Tony Scott's True Romance. If that's the case, Houser himself endorsed the idea of telling a compelling story, which I think that they've been doing for a bit. And that should put his concern to rest, right? And yet, there's another underlying issue here, one that points to a deeper worry about the future of Rockstar. If you've been paying close attention and already noticed the first real concern, Dan Houser left Rockstar in 2020. We can go through the list of guys that left. In fact, I think this story does.
They're like basically all gone.
Yep. All the key creatives.
Yeah, you have one Houser there, one of the brothers that's running it all, and yet not really, because he still has to answer to the bigger Take-Two. It's a whole other conversation. But having seen many other companies lose senior talent and founding creators, I know how often this spells trouble for their future projects. I just mentioned in the previous story, the squad killed the Justice League, lost its 2 founders. Rocksteady was basically emptied out halfway through the game creation. That's a problem. So in fact, the skepticism many gamers now feel about GTA 6 may not be entirely unwarranted, not because of the inclusion of a female protagonist. Wow, that's a lot of time saying that. But because several of the individuals who helped helm Rockstar's best games are no longer part of the company. Well, first and foremost, I loved Laszlo. I'm weird, though. So, thought that was a fun character. I like
Laszlo.
This is kind of like deja vu. Is anybody else thinking BioWare? Anybody?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Very much.
Anybody? Mass Effect Andromeda, BioWare, that old BioWare magic, getting that game out, and we saw what that magic did for them without everybody that used to have the magic, didn't we?
Yeah, and here's the problem. Many gamers feel that sequels to beloved franchises previously renowned for strong storytelling and memorable characters have been increasingly replaced with lackluster writing and poorly conceived protagonists, hence why so many are worried about GTA 6. Well, this game is in development for 11, almost 12 years. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong.
No, it's been in development probably since before the last one came out. So they will work on they are probably already working on 7 at this point. So no question in my mind. GTA 4, when that came out, I think that was one of the first entertainment properties to hit a it made more revenue than anything in the entertainment space in a quick amount of time. I need to go look up the actual figures, but the astounding amount of money that Rockstar Games makes off of GTA That is an entire studio's worth right there. This is an entire multi-billion-dollar company's worth.
You could probably
of
make
revenue
Bob
from
Iger
studios.
cry if you just show him 1 month's worth of like revenue from GTA Online.
You know, he did find out the other day that kids play video games.
We were just talking about. I can't believe we were all so behind. Thank you, Iger, for having your fingers on the pulse.
Yeah.
They like their video games and those Looney Tunes.
And Taylor Swift.
Crazy kids.
Ah, dude, you know, Nolan, you say that, and like with Marvin's joke, that's how bad Bob Iger's like market research is. That he's probably going to be like, here's our first entry into the whatever Marvel Epic thing, and it's going to be like a in-universe concert between Mickey and Taylor Swift. I don't know, and it's going to look awful.
Give it time.
That is you have accidentally hit 6 targets that I can tell you that is.
No.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
So
Hey, Culture, you got a story to read.
I do. I was just waiting for you guys to finish. So
Yeah,
according
it's
to
not
this-
a short. It's not a short story either.
No. And we're just going to wrap up here because I think this is like the base of the story that I want to talk about before we all have to go. But one notable example of Rockstar's shift came in 2022 when they censored content in the GTA Auto 5 Expanded and Enhanced Edition.
We talked about that.
We did. This updated version of the game removed elements that allegedly maligned individuals who identify with a gender that differs from their anatomy. That's a fun way to say that.
Yeah, it's really fun.
Yeah, too many words. These changes
That
included...
was me, not the writer. I'll just let you know.
Right. Yeah. These changes. Well, no, I believe you.
I was going to say, Marvin, at a certain point, like as an editor, you got to find like synonyms, and you run out of like single words, so you just got to start reaching for what you can.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, anyway, so these changes included the removal of certain caricatured NPCs in the game, props such as signage referencing drag performers, dialogues perceived as mocking towards the rainbow community is also edited out. While some argued that these changes were necessary to modernize the game, which is not true, others saw it as a troubling sign of self-censorship, which is the greatest poison we can feed ourselves. What makes the decision particularly concerning is its inconsistency with GTA's longstanding satirical identity. The Grand Theft Auto series has always thrived on equal opportunity satire, mocking all aspects of American culture, well, and international, by the way, without signaling out or shielding specific groups. From politician to celebrities, no one has been spared from GTA's biting humor. Yet, the removal of content raises questions. Why censor only this? Why remove jokes about one group while leaving countless of other instances of parody intact? Moreover, reports suggest that these edits were made due to internal pressures at Rockstar, with certain individuals pushing for changes after Dan Houser's departure. And I would say that's probably part of the problem.
Can you imagine that? Can you imagine being part of a studio that pushes the boundaries? I'm looking at you, NetherRealm, Mortal Kombat. I'm looking at you, Rockstar. I'm looking at you, BioWare. You pushed all these boundaries. You have gotten people talking about your product. There have been meetings of Congress because of your game where they've called it all these negative things. And now, without any pressure from the outside world, from inside your own company, you're like, oopsie, we can't do that. Let's go back and erase what we did. That is so chicken and so lame. I don't even know if I want to play this stupid game now.
It's the
so
equivalent of like an
jarring.
old punk selling out. Like, honestly, one of the best ways I have learned to equate this is like a lot of modern video game devs, whether it's Rockstar or Rocksteady or whatever, they're like Green Day. Back
Metallica.
in the day, like no,
Rage
Green
Against
Day
the
specifically, and I want to use Green Day because back in the day, in their very first like 2 albums, they were more punky than everything, and everybody liked it, and they sort of blew up that early California punk scene. But as they grew on, they were still punk related, more pop punk, sure. But then once they got older and they became more rocky, sure, we all understood the change. That was fine. But you still have Green Day going out to this day and going on to like, so, or like a year or two ago, they were at the iHeart Music Festival and they had run over their time by like 5 minutes. So everybody was like, hey, you got to go off the stage. Justin Bieber's coming next, or somebody was coming next.
Right.
And Billy Joe went on stage. He's like, "You trying to kick off Green Day? We're punk AF. You think we're here? We're not here for some chicken poop Justin Bieber." And it's like, dude, you're playing at the same festival. Like that's you are Justin Bieber just with guitars. So like that's what it feels to me. Is that at one time Rockstar, they were the punk rock stars, like you were saying, Loki. They pushed the boundaries. They made fun of everybody. But nowadays they want you to think they're still, you know, hardcore punk rock. Oh, but you know, hey, I got to get up in the morning because I have work at 6. We can't hang out all night.
Yeah, when you
I'm sorry I was late to pick up the kids, honey. I'm punk rock.
all right. Well, I'm about to be punk rock in front of all of y'all and say just whoosh for a second because we got to get to supers. But the certifications that are happening right now are the things that are the most disturbing to many. The fact that they're on this DEI certification kick, which is probably instituted by the uppers at Take-Two. Regardless, they brought in some people who are rather questionable, pushing a lot of the garbage in there. And if this company goes full woke, it's over for them forever. The games will not be interesting anymore. That people still may play 5 and the GTA Online product. But the minute they start inserting more garbage into that, I think people will tap out of that as well. This is not a good sign for a major game studio. And it's something that we need to continue talking about going into the release of the game. Gentlemen, we are about to wrap up. So I turn the show over to the guy that's just finally here to do his job, Jonas J. Campbell.
Do your job. So are we caught up on Super Chats? Because I believe that Kaliki... Okay. Right here. Kamchi? Is it
that's your job. Yeah. Kaliki Okedi was our last one, I believe. Okay. And then we have all the ones that just popped. So there you go.
Kamchi for $4.99. Hey, I missed the pro show, but Theory is 9 Inch Nails and Nintendo and Universal. Forgive me on that one. Had creative differences and other issues that back off of making any more movies. Think about it. Yeah, it's difficult to work with Nintendo if they can't decide everything about your company. They don't have third-party developers. They have second-party developers. Well, they do have third-party developers, but Nintendo says everything that they're going to do. And for $4.99 more, they wanted Sideline Mario and Mary Sue Boss Peach. The method of killing beloved series hired poor writers that did TTG and devalue some characters. You know, this goes back to a pro rumor from back in the day talking about how they wanted Mario to be the hero of the Mario movie and not Peach. So I can see Anna Taylor-Joy signing on for a movie like that.
Peach character in 2 I played more than anybody. Original Mario. Original Nintendo Mario. I played the princess all the time on 2. Doesn't matter. It's whoever the best character is. You can fly. Yes, thank you. You can fly. You can fly. You can fly.
All right.
You can fly. You can fly. You can fly.
For $4.99, I'm Mary Poppins, y'all. Kamchi for $4.99. It's possible Universal had bad ideas that still have woke cult virus that went against Nintendo and decided to stick with what they have. That's probably the reason. You're making a really good point here, and this is something I pointed out on the pro show. Chris Meledandri, who is the head of Illumination, and it was Illumination, not DreamWorks, that did the Super Mario Brothers movie. He's not really on the woke stuff. I'll point out that the Grinch movie goes so far as it actually has the Jesus Christmas songs, not just the generalized like Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeers. They're like actually.
Oh, you talking about the new one, the animated one?
Yeah, not bad.
Oh, nice.
Completely unrelated to the fact that the Jesus ones are in there. It's actually not a bad telling of the Grinch story. I know it's not the other Grinch movies, but whatever, to each their own. So there is a heavy relationship there between Meledandri and Nintendo. I think what did it is Sony getting the live action Legend of Zelda. That probably soured a lot of relationships there. So, or the other way around. Jacob Foxfires for $10. Loki, hit it. While I may not be fans of the games, they were important in gaming history for pushing boundaries and were points for artistic freedom. But now look at them. These studios are sad now.
They are.
GTA used to be a worst person in the world simulator.
Oh yeah.
I loved it. I mean, I loved it. It was funny because it's like, oh yeah, I can imagine this person. Oh yeah, I can see this happening. Oh yeah, that's what you were there for. Like it was great and satirically funny because it was like these are the worst of humanity. I loved the games. I still do. I can't believe how many times I've played GTA 5. You know, I can't tell you how many times I've played, you know, Red Dead Redemption 2.
I'm more of a Simpsons hit and run kind of guy, though.
And they poked fun at
Oh,
themselves.
Jonas,
and
why?
that was part of the fun of it. Was they even poke fun at themselves? They make fun of the guy you play in 3 when you play San Andreas. You're like, oh, he's some mute from New York, and you're like, well, what? Not New York, but whatever.
Liberty City.
Liberty City. Thank you. Some mute from Liberty City who doesn't talk, and you're like, yeah, that's the dude you play in 3 that doesn't talk.
Yeah,
they mentioned Nico. Yeah, they mentioned Nico.
Yeah, Nico Bellic.
Also.
Nico Bellic. Yeah. Hey, what's going on? Salty Nerd Gaming. One of our friends' channels. You can check them out. They're great. Dutch Butters over there, and Alex and everybody on that team. It's good to see you, man. Thanks for being here.
And Trevor takes out Johnny. Takes out Johnny in the first 5 minutes of seeing Trevor. He takes out Johnny.
Yeah. It's so great. But what I do know is this. We have had an incredible stream. We've had incredible gifties on the platform. All those tokens. Let's take a look at the leader in the clubhouse. Still T-Neil in the front. Still T-Neil gold trophy. Kamchi, and technically Jacob Foxfire's tie for second/third because they've come up with it. Oh, and Kamchi actually moved into second place just now, so I don't have to change this.
All right, here we go. Yeah. First of all, Pinochet's helicopter tours for $2. Will they shut down 5 to force people into 6?
Oh, I don't know if they're going to be willing to
too much
close
money
down there. Yeah, it makes a lot. I think 8.5 billion. Francesco was telling me.
You have to get the gold out before you burn the boats.
Yeah.
So, Kamchi for $4.99. Basically, they saw the sniper after dodging the bullet and back away. I'm worried for the Zelda movie being done by a hack director who has no clue. You're talking about, it's not Webb. Who is it? It's Wes Ball, and I forget what Wes Ball worked on recently.
He did the most recent Kingdom Hearts Planet of the Kingdom of the Apes, whatever. I'm totally butchering this title.
The sequel to the Planet of the Kingdom of the Apes.
But that looked better than Mufasa. So, and that Barry dude just says he can't do it. Anyway, all I know is this.
Barry took it for the paycheck.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
And now he seems to be regretting that one.
He does. And okay, so if you want boring, head shaking, photorealistic Mufasa, I don't know why you wouldn't see Sonic. Anyway.
Oh, and Kamchi for $1.99. Heck, I can make the best story for Nintendo.
Hey, look, all I know is Nintendo does what everybody else don't. Because a lot of people like to say it the other way around there. Oh, stop it with the Alarmo. Speaking of which, I need that video out there. I have to get that video out there because Jonas wants me to embarrass myself.
Do you like Alarmo?
I love Alarmo. Why did you do that?
That everyone here on the channel is eventually going to find out.
That's true. I need to get to it. But what I also need to get to is my next show. I'm headed over to Mr. H's channel. And it just occurred to me that I did not set up the move around. Did you set up the move around?
I will do that for you. You talk. You just tell people that joke you know.
I don't know a joke anymore. Every time I say that joke, I get in trouble. But look, I'm joined by a bunch of great people on this panel as always, and you, of course, are the greatest of people we know, especially when you're giving us quarters. But Jonas J. Campbell is That Park Place, whether or not you believe it or not. You have a writer from That Park Place. He is also that. We are all Park Place, sort of, kind of. Maybe.
We are all Park Place. I am Park Place.
That's right. So Marvin is a Park Place guy. Even this bounding editor-in-chief down here who writes and directs great stories and argues with me. Is Spencer, check him out. And the guy over there on the far side, that's that Nolan fella. He's thunderous with his content. You definitely want to get that done. And this fella next to me is a partner in crime on so many things. It's Loki, Stone Cold Loki, in fact, from Loki's Mornings of Mischief. He will usually do a stream with sound. This morning he was not doing a stream with sound, but it's fun. It'll be fun.
It wasn't my fault. I checked my mic. My settings were right. It wasn't me. It was the one-armed man.
Yeah, did you send it to Mr. H?
I thought you said C-SPAN. Yes, it's set to Mr. H reviews.
All right, very good. On that note, we have just a few seconds to wrap it up. I just want to say Kamchi, Pinochet's helicopter tours, Jacob Foxfire, We've got Kalikio Ketty, Joseph Frost Ghost, T Neil 89, Daryl the Derelict, Jay, and Ruby Hoove and John JID 999. Did I say it enough times?
999.
All right.
Yeah,
And for
people are
those of
gonna
you
think
out
it's a
there
different kind of stream.
that are looking for other gaming streams, we got friends. You got to check out Side Scrollers, obviously. Salty Nerd Gaming. Those guys are great. And I used to have a gaming channel. And maybe I should resurrect
Until you took an arrow to the knee. Did we mention Lost in the Files over there on Nolan Thunder's channel?
We did talk about him. You want to say
Oh,
more?
good.
Okay.
Yes. You guys
Okay.
should go check those out.
Yeah,
Bye.
go check it
Thank
out.
you.
Bye.
Always appreciate
the-
it, my friend.
Hit the buy button.
Go pick
Bye.
up Justice
wait.
League. It's
He just left.
$40.
He didn't hit the buy button. Do I have to hit the buy
I'm
button?
always watching.
All right, time
I'm
to
sorry.
take your
I'm
tokens
so-
and buy 6 copies
Okay.
of Justice.